What's going on, guys? Now, while I do enjoy my fair share of cheap, affordable, and mid-level designer fragrances, I also enjoy my fair share of higher quality fragrances. And in this video, I've got the 10 that I plan on reaching for the most this summer. Some for more dressier situations, some for more casual situations. But some good variety overall, built for the heat. So stay tuned. Starting with a lot of people's favorite from the brand of Parfums de Marly, and I understand it's for good reason, because Sedley is the jam. This is really, really good stuff. Super versatile. Probably the most versatile, mass appealing fragrance from the house, honestly. It's beautiful, even more so than Greenlee and Percival. Granted, Greenlee and Percival are great for this time of year as well, but if I gotta pick between the three, this is the one for sure. It's fresh and aromatic. It's a little minty. There's a touch of ambroxan. There's a soapy feel. There's herbaceous spiciness. There's a little bit of a lot going on here. There is some complexity without being so complex that you can't distinguish several different notes. It does change. It becomes a bit more creamy as it dries. It's quite lovely. Very beautiful fragrance. Very well composed. It's kind of on the level of a designer as far as blend, but definitely smells of higher quality. It's a great fragrance. It's versatile and all around. You can dress this one up and down. This is kind of the do-it-all of the video. The most well-rounded fragrance in this video, in my opinion. That's why I felt it was only fitting to start with this one. Performance will surprise you. You may only think you're getting 5 or 6 hours, then 7 or 8 hours into it, somebody will pay you a nice compliment because you were just dealing with a little bit of olfactive fatigue and you went a little nose blind to the scent. That has happened to me. The trail on this is beautiful, and like I said, it's kind of a do-it-all. Some really good stuff. This summer I'll definitely be reaching for, once again, Parfums de Marly Sedley. A lesser-known French house that makes my absolute favorite coconut fragrance. And a lot of you know I'm not big on coconut fragrances. In certain instances, it's done well. Sometimes they give off a bit of a sunscreen vibe with more designer level coconut fragrances and stuff like that. Here, it's just a beautiful amber coconut smell from Fleurs de Golfe. This is Coco du Yemen. It's been a little while since I spoke about this. I kind of specifically wear it for the warm weather. This is a monster in performance as far as summer fragrances go, but this is tropical. It's a very tropical smelling fragrance. So beautiful. A little bit of a floral tone, a very simplistic note breakdown, but it's mostly about this rich, juicy, not too creamy coconut. More watery and juicy than it is creamy and milky. It's not a coconut milk smell. It's more of a coconut water type of smell with this beautiful amber. It's so well-rounded and smooth. For the notes they do list, which I believe it's only 4 or 5 notes. I don't remember the full note breakdown offhand, but what you smell is lovely. Like I said, it's a monster in performance too. Hands down my favorite coconut fragrance. This is a must try from the house in my opinion. The main fragrance I would recommend from Fleurs de Golfe, though I do have a handful of offerings from them plus some samples that I've yet to even try. They offer something for everyone. If you're into florals, if you're into fresh, if you're into sweet, you want something dark, you want gourmand, they got something for everybody. They're on the more affordable side of these higher end luxury fragrances, and I dig that about them. And the bottles are kind of cool too. They're recessed, thick glass. I'm telling you, the scent on this one, magnificent. Like I said, not a huge fan of coconut, but when it comes to this one, I'm a huge fan of coconut. With Fleurs de Golfe. This is Coco du Yemen. Now this is a summertime fragrance in the world of niche fragrances. It's not just me that really digs this one. I know a lot of you out there that have tried it, probably swear by it. It's Nishane Wulong Cha. Beautiful. Built for the heat. This is great in the spring as well. This is bright, fresh, and invigorating, but also calming and relaxing as it starts to settle down and get into the early dry down. There's a tea note in here that offers a nice relaxing tone to the fragrance, but there's some bright citrus up top. It's very, very aromatic. There's a little soapy tone. It's a lot of light woods. There is some complexity here. It's very rich. God, I still smell it floating around. This is gorgeous. This is one of the best smelling fresh fragrances on the market, regardless of price or quality of oils. One of the best freshies out there for sure. And this one definitely has some staying power. It's a little loud at first, then starts to settle down, but I've been experiencing in the 7 to 8 hour range easily with this. And for a fresh fragrance, that's superb. Because the fragrance overall is superb, not just in its staying power, but it kind of hits the sweet spot. So I get that kind of longevity that I'm really looking for without it being too loud. But when somebody will, in the event they smell you, they'll think you smell nice for sure. Because when it comes to clean and fresh, not too many people are going to think anything other than, ooh, you smell nice when you smell clean and fresh. And this is a little bit more detailed than just clean and fresh, don't get me wrong. But like I said, it's got so much going for it. I mean, the notes are right here. Bergamot orange. Let's see, mandarin oolong tea. There's your tea note. Nutmeg, musk, and fig. The fig is definitely what adds that juiciness to it. Even though it's listed at the latter end of the notes, you get that juiciness up top with the citruses. It kind of really provides that kind of watery feel, and it settles into that tea note later. Like I said, to give that relaxing vibe. Really, really good stuff. Definitely get your nose on this one if you haven't yet. It's Nishane Wulong Cha. Next is a new one to the collection that I am super happy I added to the collection because it's light, it's breezy and airy, it's full of this beautiful citrus medley, it's watery and aquatic, there's a little bit of a creamy tone to it. It's relaxing and casual, but I think there's never a bad time for this one. I think you could dress it up in the hot weather if you really wanted to. This is Soleil d'Italie from Mancera. I picked this one up in one of my recent fragrance net hauls. This stuff is beautiful. Now, I have seen people compare it to kind of the niche version of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. And while they have a similar vibe and similar citrus opening, once that citrus calms down, that initial opening blast of the top note, they kind of go a little bit different direction from one another, but definitely similar vibe, so I can understand where people are coming from with it, though I don't completely agree with that comparison. But it will remind you of other similar style fragrances, though it doesn't smell like any one particular fresh aquatic. It gives off the vibe of so many out there, just on a higher quality type of standpoint. This is beautiful. The performance is there. It sticks to the skin, and you would have to really dial up the sprays for it to be absurdly loud. But early on, it's bright and fresh, so that first hour, of course, is going to be loud, even at only, 4 or 5 sprays. If you're a heavy sprayer, this will be immensely loud in the first hour, I'm sure. This is one that I stay in this, 6-7 spray range is good for me. Looking at the 8 to 10 hour mark in longevity, which again, for a fresh fragrance, is phenomenal. And I like once it starts to settle down. You'll get light, airy, breezy whiffs. That's why I keep saying light, airy, and breezy. Because it's perfect for the scent profile. The way this is composed with the notes used, especially that beautiful amalgamation of just all these different citruses and freshness that they have in the top and the heart of this fragrance. The projection's just right for it, to where it's not too much, but you're constantly still going to be able to smell it, just not super strong. Love that about this stuff. I'll definitely be reaching for this more and more, and I'm currently working on a full review for this, so be on the lookout for that in the coming weeks. Soleil d'Italie from Mancera. So speaking of new to the collection, I did pick this up from Kingdom Fragrances. They are officially carrying Kierin NYC Fragrances now, and this is Pier New York. Definitely has a marine, saltwater, aquatic type of vibe to it. Very beach, marine type of scent, even though it's supposed to be for standing on one of the piers in New York. I forgot specifically which pier it's telling the story of. It definitely has that bitter, salty seaweed, aquatic type of feel, believable and authentic, because if you know anything about Kierin NYC, they're very cleanly sourced, vegan friendly, animal cruelty free, and just super clean, high quality oils, and they're not crazy expensive. You can get these 50 mLs in the sub $100 range. They are below $100, and for this level of quality and originality, it's not that easy to find these days. So I've always been a fan of the brand. I've had Sunday Brunch and Nitro Noir for a few years now. And this is another stellar release that, while not mind-blowingly unique, it definitely fits. The aroma scent profile really fits the story for where they're trying to visually put you while you smell the fragrance. And it definitely screams great for the summertime. Just because you're not standing on a pier in New York when you wear this doesn't mean it isn't great to bring on your beach vacation. This stuff works great in the high heat. I've worn it a few times now, and I do plan on wearing it a lot more this summer. I wasn't overwhelmingly impressed on my first impressions, but the more I spray it, it's definitely one that's continuing to grow on me, and the more I like it, and that's why it's in this video. Again, that's Kierin NYC. This is Pier New York. I still say this is one of the greatest openings ever in fragrances. Hands down, bar none. We're talking about Roja Parfums. This is Elysium Parfum pour Homme. Don't get me wrong, the blue bottle, the Parfum Cologne, it's an amazing fragrance. It's not as good as the Parfum version. Though this is much more expensive, don't get me wrong. God, it's so good though. This is a compliment factory. It will churn them out. I've yet to have somebody smell me and not tell me that they like what I smell like, or, ooh, what are you wearing? Oh my God, that smells so good. You can't get a hug and have this on and not get a compliment. I'm telling you right now, guys, in my experience. It's freaking amazing. I did do a full review on this one right around Christmas time, this past Christmas at the recording of this video. This is an olfactive experience everyone should have. Sure, there's a ton of clones and a ton of, lower quality ways to smell like this fragrance. But to really get the olfactive experience of what this fragrance is truly about, you need to secure at least a very small decant, just so you can say you experienced it, because it is, in my personal opinion, mind-blowingly good. One of the best citrus fruit openings I've ever smelled. I'll stand by that statement for as long as I live, because this fragrance is indeed that good in my opinion. I am going to spray it again because I do want to smell it again. Staying power is ridiculous on this one. This is every bit of around a 9 to 10 hour fragrance for as fresh as it is. Again, that's why I said it's ridiculous, because for fresh, that's very long lasting, especially when it's not heavily man-made, chemically synthetic components making it. This is super high quality oils. I mean, it's a Roja Dove fragrance. It's top tier quality. Definitely looking forward to wearing this summer. Fantastic fragrance is Roja Parfums Elysium Parfum pour Homme. It still perplexes me how they were able to recreate, standing on a beach, the aroma of sunscreen. It definitely reminds me of sunscreen, with no coconut or any of these synthetic notes. They did it with creamy vanilla, of all things. Juliette has a gun. Vanilla vibes. In my opinion, the best fragrance from the house. The most unisex fragrance from the house. This stuff is too good. Don't get me wrong, I love Lipstick Fever. It's one of my favorite fruity iris fragrances, but this is the much more wearable fragrance in so many more situations. For warm weather, this one dresses up. It's quality, it's creamy and sweet without being too cloyingly sweet and creamy. For the heat, like I said, it's remarkable the way they compose this, because everything about it screams too much for this high heat, but everything about the scent profile when you smell it screams absolutely perfect for the high heat. This really is a remarkable fragrance. Remarkable is the best word for this. I still don't know how they pulled this off. Obviously, the gradient color scheme is absolutely fitting. You're looking at the sand, the water, and the sky. They really told a great story for the beach, for some beach vibes with this fragrance. Get your nose on this one if you haven't yet, guys. Like I said, it's surprisingly perfect for the summertime, because you wouldn't think a vanilla dominant, creamy vanilla dominant fragrance would be as good for this as it is. The way they did it's perfect. There's no other way to put it. And performance is pretty solid too. Juliette has a gun, vanilla vibes. And this is another one that you wouldn't necessarily think summertime when you see the note breakdown, but when you smell Rirana Perfumes Vanilla Tea, in my full review, I described it as the perfect fragrance to put you relaxing on a hammock by the beach, because it is all of that. Beautiful, bright, powdery, a little sweet. This honeysuckle note really stands out and provides some uniqueness. It's very unisex, does not lean feminine. When I say honeysuckle, don't think it's very feminine, because it's not. It's not the most masculine fragrance either. It kind of rides that line perfectly of unisex. It's very relaxing. It's creamy sweet without being too creamy or sweet. It's powdery, but not too powdery. It's fresh. There's some citruses up top, but it's not too watery and juicy. The balance is nice and smooth. It just kind of rides an even flow the whole way through from start to finish with this fragrance. Performance is fantastic. This is one of the most relaxing summer vibe, beach vibe type of fragrances I've ever smelled. Recent to the collection, absolutely loving the hell out of this one. The more you wear it, trust me, the more you will enjoy it. This is a great addition to anybody's summer rotation when it comes to high quality fragrances, because it doesn't remind me of any one other fragrance I've smelled before. So uniqueness is always a great thing when you can come across it, especially when you're enjoying it. So this summer I'll definitely be reaching more for Rirana Vanilla Tea. Now this is one I specifically wear in summer. This is my fresh fruity take on Aventus is how you can look at it. It's from Bond Number 9. It is bondnumber9.com. One of my favorite fragrances in my collection that I seldom wear because I'm very specific on situations that I want to wear it. Unmistakably Aventus aroma without being smoky. It's more fruity, it's more fresh, without smelling anything like Cedrat Boisé either. Similar vibe to it, but this is more fresh and airy. Performance is great on this one. This one has a lot of fresh vetiver and woods. It's a great fragrance. I really, really dig this one. I want to say shame on me because I don't wear it enough, but I'm a very seasonal person, and I think this is the most ideal way to bring the Aventus style scent profile into high heat summertime wearings for me. So I kind of strictly only wear this in the summertime, and with having a ton of fragrances, that may mean only 1, 2, or 3 wearings from me. So obviously 50 ml bottles like this last a very long time for me. But a must try in my opinion if you're looking for a fruity fresh version of Aventus that's still of high quality and performs fan-freaking-tastic. If you're looking for smoky, you're looking at the wrong fragrance, but if you're looking for fruity, they definitely got you covered. Bondnumber9.com. Last but not least, the official first true fresh fragrance from the house of Zaharoff. We are talking about Signature Citrine. Based around sweet orange and clementine. Clementine kind of gives this orangey, limey type of smell. Very fresh. There's a beautiful salty sea amber type of feel to this with incense. So I've said it many times recently for those of you that watch the channel on a regular basis. You know, incense notes, olibanum, frankincense, anything along those lines that's incensey or smoky in any way, guaiac woods and such, really pop off of my skin, really shine, really come out in a fragrance's composition once it hits my skin. And that's the case here. Just like with Noir, because this is built around the Noir and Rosé base, which are dominated with frankincense. Here it's no different. It's a beautiful, fresh, airy, bright citrus that still has some nice, grounded, character-filled, earthy, smoky type of nuances that's not too earthy, but it does provide a darkness to really round off the composition to make it quite the unique fresh fragrance. This one, again, not a loud fragrance unless you really get out in the heat. Then it'll really start churning and radiating off the skin. But this is one that I get in the 7 to 8 hour range of life on my skin. Again, which you don't see a whole lot in fresh fragrances unless they use amber wood and heavy ambergris and ambroxan and synthetic notes like that. Luckily, there's a lot of fragrances in this video that you can get stellar performance out of and still maintain high quality, gorgeous freshness. Signature Citrine is definitely one that fits that. So it was a must-have in this video and one that everybody should try. You can get samples, you can get travel atomizers, or you can get a bottle. There's always, I'm gonna have links for all of this stuff down in the description if you guys want to get samples or anything and try any of this stuff, because if you're a fan of the house of Zaharoff, you know there's a lot of darker, deeper, more complex fragrances, where here you still get a little bit of that classy complexity that Zaharoff's known for, but in a fresh package. Again, that's Zaharoff, Signature Citrine. Well, that's the 10 higher end, high class, fine fragrances, niche fragrances as they've been dubbed, that I plan on reaching for this summer. Obviously, some are going to be a bit more situational than others, but I have something to kind of cover all the bases. I got casual, I got dressy, I got beach vibe, I got outdoor events, and I got all around versatile do-it-alls. Got a little bit of everything. We got serious and we got playful. And that's pretty well rounded in my opinion. Overall, I think this is a great collection of fragrances for you to maybe consider this summer, because like I said, it's the ones I'm going to be reaching for. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Do you have any of these fragrances in this video, or have you tried any of them? Which ones have you tried, and what do you think about them? Please let me know down in the comments. Until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these, you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. You have a good one, guys.